Hi everyone, this is Gail from Rainbow Food Rocks and Rainbow Healing and Wellness. And I usually don't put this kind of video on my main channel, however, I'm going to attempt to today. So wish me luck. I'm actually here because I was corresponding with a friend in India and learning about the situation in India. And I felt strongly that I needed to come on and kind of give an overview of everything that I've been doing for people to help them heal themselves. And because of legal reasons, I can't say things very clearly. And because of other reasons, I'll have to use a lot of code. So please bear with me, but I'm going to try in this episode to explain to you all the different things that you can do to help try to prevent getting ill and getting unwell and to boost your immune system. I'm a strong believer that we can actually fight things naturally. And my whole premise for Rainbow Food Rocks, the book that I'm always showing off and very bubbly showing off, is about how I healed myself and I healed my 3 kids. And that became my mission, is to help people learn how to heal themselves. So when I'm hearing things about what's going on in India and I'm talking to a friend over there and my friend is saying like, you know, this is well beyond and this is what's happening and people are dying within 4 to 8 hours and there aren't enough beds in the hospitals or overwhelmed and so on and so forth, well, first of all, it reminds me of back last year. And those of you that have been following me know that I have become friends with people like Dr. Paul Cottrell and Rex Bear from Leak Project and Fleur Brun and Greg Allison from Green Greg's. And that all came about because of the, we'll call it crisis from last year that we started observing in January. And I became involved because of my prophetic dream, which I believe is on one of the 2 channels, either Rainbow Food Rocks or Rainbow Healing and Wellness. I think it's on the Healing and Wellness version now. So anyhow, so that triggered me to pay attention to when Dr. Paul Cottrell first came on Rex Bear Leak Project's show. The video is no longer there, I've been searching, but that caused me to pay attention to what was going on in China. And I could feel, based on my dream and everything, what was going to happen here. So I like to always come out of love and not fear. And I always like to solve problems and I always like to be the change I want to see in the world. And I try to do that with every action. And during that whole course, I started growing a garden. I did videos, which I've taken down. I started uploading some and I never finished, of how I started my garden. I did a video with Dr. Paul Cottrell showing the progress and all the different steps and how that came to me in a vision. I started promoting people growing their own food. I started promoting people sprouting in their houses. I started showing people how I was using my essential oils to make my own products. And I started talking even more about my book and my story and why I make the food I make the way I do. I started showing people how then they could use food from their gardens to start making their own recipes, and they could use my recipe book for a few of them as well. And I just started going with everything that was going on and trying to be a teacher and a mentor and a leader. So why am I saying all this? Well, I hear what's going on in India and I can't help, like inside of me, it screams at me to do something to try to help people. That's just my nature. And so I remembered that I had gone over and I had some phone issues and I had to redo my phone. So I lost everything that was on my phone a few months ago. I want to say maybe it was like 5 months ago. So I had this documentation on my phone, which I wanted to like give a link and share, but I'm going to show this and I'm not going to say what it is. And I'm going to refer to this. So if you want to jot this down and do your own research and see if you can find this, I feel like this is a good resource on top of everything that I've been teaching people that I do. So inside this document, you'll find a lot about essential oils that can be used and how they can be used. The other thing is, if you've noticed, I've been purposefully making acquaintances with and becoming friends with people that also know other ways of doing things. So they can add to this, and maybe this would be useful for those people, and those people know whom I'm speaking about. So also go to Elle Dakota's Ultimate Herbal Database. You will find a lot about this topic. There's a huge section of all the things you can do. Now, I understand that this is a different variant, and this is different than last year in some ways, but we didn't really get to hear all the information all the time about what was going on last year in China. It seems that we're getting more information from what's going on in India, and whether or not that does come to America to affect us, I think that it's important to create a lifestyle that incorporates all these things so that we just stay at our optimal level, so that if these things do come this way, they don't affect us like they would affect others. And everything I'm doing is pretty much promoting that. And anyone that watches my channel knows I'm doing the yoga, I'm doing the meditation, I'm using my essential oils daily, I'm making my own products, everything I just went over. So I want to see people, A, not suffer, and B, get well as soon as possible. So let's go and just mention some things here. And bear with me, I'm going to have to scroll through the pages. And there is another video that someone else did on this document. I'm not going to say the name in case that's a trigger word on this platform, but type in the document, it might come up. You might find somebody else's video where they actually go through and read a huge portion of this. So that could be very useful for you. And I'm going to try to skip to the things that they talk about to use to help oneself. So remember, we're talking about helping your body heal itself, using those legal words specifically. So they're talking about the usuals, vitamin C and vitamin D3, magnesium and zinc and selenium. So I can show you this page. You can always screenshot it. Okay. Oh yeah, I just ate a whole bunch of turmeric, so my teeth look yellow. Turmeric is another really good anti-inflammatory. And of course, I need to tell everyone to always consult a medical professional and to not take this as medical advice. So that is my disclaimer. So I will go through, I have to be so careful that I don't even know what I can say nowadays. Let me say whatever I see. So I'll say that I see something about green clay, something about magnesium chloride. I see, what else do we see here? I think I have to skip a few more pages. I'm getting to the essential oils mostly. And I do always point out that I do sell essential oils. Now here's the interesting thing. They actually come straight from the Sarga organic farms in India. And I see I have a piece of hair sticking. Sorry about that. And, these could be useful for people in India because if it's grown there, they can use it on themselves, is my thought. So let's talk about, aromatherapy. And so with essential oils, you can do things a few different ways. So you can take them internally. You just need to know what you're doing with that. You can put them on your skin and you can diffuse them. And so a lot of people don't understand how to use these oils. Like, let's say, for example, I'm just deviating from this manual here. Like, let's say, for example, I have a sore throat and I can't get lemons, I can't get ginger, I'm locked in my house, or I'm too sick to go out, but I have my lemon oil, my ginger oil. You can take these. These are food grade. These are actually my products, but you can, if you're in India, you can actually get these in the Sarga Organic Farms. They're bottled as Forest Treasure over there. Mine are bottled as Rainbow Herbals, and I actually import them and bottle them myself. So this is my own product, hand bottled by me, just so you know. But let's say the lemon and ginger, if you have these, then you can put them in water and you could drink them, right? You wouldn't want to put too much. Or you can put it in something else. If you're making a recipe and you don't have any ginger, you can use the ginger. And I've actually tried all these before like that. So I can actually say that You can use them in all these different ways, but you could also put the ginger on yourself. You could put the ginger, you could just put a straight ginger drop in your mouth, a straight lemon drop in your mouth. You could diffuse it and breathe it in. So there are a lot of different ways to use oils. And anyone that is interested in getting oils from me, I don't want to really be here for the sales pitch, but I've had these oils for quite some time. I don't advertise them as much as I probably could or should, but these oils are available. You can write me at info, I-N-F-O, at rainbowfoodrocks.com, just like the title you see behind me. You can also go on my website, rainbowfoodrocks.com, and go into the menu and click in, and you can see some of the pictures from the farm and some more details. I also have other people that I'm happy to promote that sell oils. There's Ananda Farms, Camino Island, and they do definitely lavender. I'm not sure which others they do themselves. So you can look into that. And then you can always get the other ones that are more common, like doTERRA has become a lot more common. If you do want to order doTERRA, you can actually order them through me too. I know that sounds kind of bizarre, but yep, you can do that as well. So just let me know if there's anything you're interested in. But let's get to the main point here. I just wanted to throw that in there because I don't usually promote myself probably as much as I could. And, you know, whether you buy them from me or someone else doesn't matter, but I do offer them. All right, let's get to the point here. So some other ones that are interesting here. We have Helichrysum italicum. Now, please forgive me. I'm not going to pronounce everything correctly. This one kind of looks interesting. So I'm going to see if I can try to find this document. I haven't done a search. Maybe I can find this on the internet, but I'll show that to you there. Okay. Now, Helichrysum I usually use if I have like a cut or something. Sometimes I'll even put it in my shampoo because I make my own shampoo. But I didn't realize that you could actually take that internally a little bit too. So look into that. Let's see here. And this goes over, you know, certain cautions and everything too. I'm not going to get into all of that. I'm just going to briefly mention things that I read. So here we go. Essential oils having properties usable in the case of a proposed protocol against, not going to say. So I'll show you it. There you go. To keep remembering, I have to do things this way. There you are. Can you see that? Screenshot that. You see that top one? So anything that's highlighted in yellow is probably something I carry or I use on a regular basis. So that probably means it's easy to get and it's more common. So that's a clue. Let's go to the next page here. There you go. You can screenshot that. I'll back up a little bit so you can see how these can help. Okay. And keep going here. My big one, my big go-to one is eucalyptus. And oregano is another big one. Tea tree is another big one. Lavender is another big one. Lemon is another big one. Cinnamon, peppermint, thyme, Ravinsara. That one I don't carry. That one you have to go through like doTERRA or someone. But you can go through me to get them from doTERRA. I should mention that. Palmarosa, another one that I don't carry, but you can go through me to get through doTERRA, or you can just do it through another representative or some other organization, whichever you prefer. Chamomile is another big one that I use, and I always keep on hand. Basil, and wow, this is interesting. So black spruce mimics cortisone. Look into that. And then Scots pine. So I did just right before this whole thing happened with India, I want to say maybe it was like 4 months ago or so, maybe 5, I did get pine in as well. That pine also mimics cortisone, which is interesting. I didn't know that previously. So, oh, you know what? It looks like for English readers, they can also go on to draxe.com. So I guess some of these were taken from there. Patchouli I carry, so patchouli is on the list as well. So these are anti-inflammatories and potent anti-inflammatories. That's what the list is. Then we get into antibacterials, and I'll just show you the list. Looks like my kids are going to be looking for me. And my other list, I did let them know I was doing a recording, so hopefully they let mommy record. Mama's recording. I'm recording. I need a few more minutes. Thank you, sweetie. All right, so again, for blood thinners, we have the ginger show up, which I carry. It's interesting. Yellow sandalwood, patchouli. So I do carry all those. I'm not sure if my sandalwood is yellow. I need to look into that, but it is sandalwood. And then here's another really interesting one I'm going to show you. You can read that. And I actually use clove. I don't sell it, but doTERRA has it, so you can get it through me through doTERRA or wherever. Again, if you're seeing my yellow teeth, it's because I was having turmeric. I do turmeric and ginger daily. I try to do garlic multiple times throughout the week. I'm actually drinking, just to throw it in. So this is some of my chaga from my recipe book, Rainbow Food Rocks. It's, well, not just chaga, I should say. It has chaga in it. It has dandelion, chaga, chicory, I'm trying to remember all the things, cardamom, cinnamon, vanilla. So this is my version of coffee. It's like a dandelion coffee. Because I guess dandelion's the biggest one. So maybe that's why I came up with the name. I need to come up with better names for these things. Hang on, just one moment. So that could be why my teeth look a little yellow today. Now here's the cool thing about this. It looks like you can look this up on the Aromatherapy Council. So it's the lead body for the UK aromatherapy profession. So it goes into each property and indications and dosage and precautions. So this is one about Ravinsara. Oops, sorry about that. For anyone that wanted to screenshot, that was probably a bummer, huh? Okay, so here's this one. And I did take pictures of each of these pages. So I might, if I have free time, try to post them somewhere. I'm not on most social media platforms anymore, but I'll see if I can come up with something. I'll ask around and see what the best thing to do is. So you can see tea tree, and I'm reading a reverse here. I think it says peppermint. And then we have Chinese cinnamon. Did I already do that one? I'm not sure. I'll just show it. Here we go. And I'm pretty much doing this for people to screenshot as they're watching, hopefully on their phone or on their computer. Some of these other ones I don't carry, but I'm just going to show whatever's here because these are all the ones that are supposed to be the most helpful. Ooh, let me back up for you. There you go. For this issue here, which apparently has gotten pretty bad in India. And talk about rosewood, hoe wood, noble laurel. Yeah, that's good stuff. That's hard to get. Here, I'll show you. So I went through this last year, and that's why you see my little highlighting. Of course, you know, the eucalyptus. So when I was talking to my friend over in India, my friend indicated that, you know, once you have already gotten to the point where you're losing oxygen, that the eucalyptus is not going to help. But if we can do all these things as preventatives, that would be really great. Let me show you the next page here. It looks like we got some helichrysum and lavender mentioned. So you can screenshot that. And I'm so sorry, I wish I had this document. I bet it's somewhere on the internet. I mean, it has to be. So I originally got this by listening to someone. And I feel like it's time to really show it off. So we'll see if we can get this promoted around. Okay, here's another one. Hopefully you can see that. And then we're going to do, so that was tarragon, wintergreen, we'll do chamomile and Scots pine. And that's specifically why I bought the pine. So my friend over in India, if you're listening to me, that's why I got the pine. There you go. And then I just want to reiterate that you can go on Elle Dakota's ultimate herbal database. I know I said that earlier. And it's, I want to say it's only like $15 a month. And if you get it for a year, I think it comes out to like $12 a month, something really cheap like that. I think I paid about $100 for the whole year. and I have access to the database. So it could be for anything. It doesn't have to be for this issue, but if you have other things and you want to know natural ways to make teas and tinctures and use oils and food and meals and anything you could think of. I mean, it's so well thought out. Elle Dakota worked on that for 17 years, and she lived in nature for a long time by herself. That's pretty amazing. I was actually hiking this past weekend, and I saw people that had been hiking for 3 weeks. Isn't that amazing? They were going all the way from one end to another in this state. Pretty amazing. So then it talks about balanced diet and quercetin. And so I'll show that. And then, as everyone knows, the calendula. So I'm going to give a shout out again to Ananda Farm, Camino Island, for the calendula. Also, if you are in India, you can get that from the Nisarga Organic Farms from Forest Treasure. Might be their other name they go by. They go by a few different names in India because they just brand it into different packaging, but it's the same source. It's all from the Nisarga Organic Farms. Anyway, so here's the quercetin, and I do quercetin daily. I do a lot of things, and I'm happy to share. So I can just kind of say that I do, oh gosh, my whole morning routine. I did a whole video on my whole morning routine, and I probably don't have that video up anymore, and most people didn't know me back then. So I usually do like lemon juice in the morning, or ginger. I chew on ginger. I have celery in my garden, so I'll juice the celery. When I had cucumbers, I was juicing cucumbers. I'll do some combinations, like one of my favorites, this is just for fun, is doing cucumber with apple, with ginger, one other thing I'm trying to remember, cucumber, ginger, and lemon. And that tastes like candy to me. It's so nice. I love it. Let's see what else here. It's just a warning, if you have a thyroid imbalance, don't take quercetin. And okay, so what else do we have? Activated charcoal can be useful because it can trap the virus and evacuate it. Again, everything I'm telling you is not medical advice, so please consult a medical professional. I'm just reading what comes in from this. So if you're just hopping on, you can screenshot this and look this up for yourself. And I'm just trying to offer some natural things that we can do to keep ourselves way out there, besides what I always talk about. Propolis. Now, this is an interesting one. I actually took propolis today. It says propolis, harvested from beehives, is not only antibacterial and antiviral, but also anti-inflammatory. Can be used for immune weaknesses. And like I said, I keep that on hand. I wonder if astragalus, I haven't seen it in here, but I wonder if astragalus would be useful too. So that's something you can ask your medical professional. Because I think astragalus helps with congestion and lung stuff. So something to look into. Or on Elle's database, Elle Dakota's database, you could look that up too. Meditation, it goes without saying. It says meditation raises your vibratory rate and strengthens the immune system. So it goes into all of that. I'm actually going to have my certificate for YTT, which is yoga teacher training, by the end of this month on May 23rd. I also do meditation daily, like I mentioned, and I have a whole bunch of different credentials I don't always boast about, but when I was hiking, I was thinking about how I really should start talking about, like, I have life coaching certification, I'm a Reiki master, so I have Reiki 1, 2, and then if you want to consider it 3, or master certificate. I have a lot of different things: first aid, CPR, food handlers, able to bake foods legally in the state for the home baking program. It's called the Cottage Food Program. I do recipes. I've written a book. I have 2 YouTube channels. I have, it looks like my Instagram is still up, even though I haven't been on in 6 months. So there's that. I believe I'm off of Facebook, unless they somehow kept me on. I canceled that. So I have a lot of different things that I've been doing, and that's totally separate from what my background is educationally. My degree and everything is totally different, and I don't usually talk about it. So I have a Bachelor of Science cum laude in philosophy, anthropology, sociology, and the list goes on with the accolades. I suppose I'll just keep it at that. But my two main backgrounds, three maybe, it would be teaching, public and private, managing, hospitality, hotels, and working for the government for something local. So let's see here. Spirulina, this I actually use in my super energizing detox smoothie, which is in my recipe book. So here it goes on to talk about, well, here, I'll show it first for those that want to screenshot. I keep forgetting about that. I'm so sorry. Let's try again. There you go. So spirulina accumulates heavy metals. It's extremely rich in beta carotene, iron, B12, vitamin E. It has proteins, minerals, trace elements, calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, zinc, and copper. Contains chlorophyll. Has all these antioxidant properties. It's rich in protein, B12, iron, vitamin A. So the list goes on and on and on. And if you did a screenshot, then you have the rest of what this says. So in my book, I'll show you my recipe book. Let's just weave this all in, because this is all those short little videos that I used to have, and half of them I took down. This is kind of a video for the culmination of everything. And it's taking me a little bit longer because this is the culmination, putting it all together. Because everything I give bits and pieces, they're like pieces to a puzzle, but I don't actually explain how everything is interwoven so nicely, because it really is. It's like, you ever have one of those Luma loops and you have those loops going through? That's what everything is like in my life and everything I do and everything that's around me. All right, so I was looking for something. Oh, I was looking for my super energizing detox smoothie. And let's see if I can find that. Oh dear, I should probably just use my table of contents or my index. But I could just show you quickly. I have separate videos on this, but you can see list of all the recipes. I have a 3-page story, which explains how I got into doing all this, because I was on a totally different career path and this was out of necessity. And exactly how I backed everything that I did up with science, just to give some validity to what I'm doing, because a lot of people think that I'm this really bubbly person and I'm kind of ditzy, and they don't actually understand that while I am high energy and very joyful, there's actually a very serious and well-educated side of me that most people don't know. So I think that's important to point out, because I've been getting a lot of comments about people's impressions on me. Not by most of you that follow me now, but from other sources. All right, so of course I didn't follow my own advice and look at that list. So let's go look, because I break it down. I have the dressings, dips, seasonings, bases, sauces, milks, hot beverages, smoothies, sorbets, ice creams, breakfast, flatbreads, soups, salads, side dishes. And did I already pass it? Did I say smoothies yet? Oh yeah, that was beforehand. Okay. Yeah, because I'm looking for the smoothie kind of section. But I'll just go on and say I have main dishes, faux meat dishes, where I used to make it with meat and I've substituted with jackfruit or something else. I don't use any of those weird packaged stuff. Everything is from scratch in this book. So it's very wholesome. And then desserts. So let's get back to the smoothie section, super energizing detox smoothie. So it looks like that's page 41. I just want to list off what I'm drinking, because in this smoothie, it's like the smoothie of all times. A lot of people have detox smoothies and they go on and do all these really nice promos and get all that, you know, great flair. So mine is without all the flair, like here it is, straightforward. So I have raspberry leaves, blackberry leaves, and hibiscus flowers being used as a base. And then I have pomegranate juice, 100% pure, cranberry juice. I put spinach. I usually use mint, but now I'm using my peppermint oil because it's really potent. It takes the edge off of some of these strong flavors. What else is here? I have turmeric, ginger, wheatgrass, barley grass, juice powder, the spirulina. I have noni, which helps open up the blood vessels, kelp, a little bit of black pepper, raspberries, wild blueberries, blackberries, cherries. And you know what's not written on here? I actually put strawberries in it too, but I didn't put strawberries on here. And this is a picture of it, by the way, not the strawberry one, but this one over here. So some people joke around like, it looks like sewage. It actually doesn't taste that bad, especially with peppermint in it. But it is just thinking, you know what, I can't say on YouTube. So I go on to how to make that. Why am I saying this? And why am I plugging this and showing you this? Well, what I'm getting at is this is a tool for your toolbox. This has, it has recipes that I created to be extremely intentional. Everything was really well thought out in ways to detoxify and to give you extra vitamins. And so, and to also avoid what's being done to certain food items. So anyhow, so what I'm getting at is like, so we can look at the spirulina and then we go, okay, well, how do I use spirulina? Well, that's a really great way. And so let's continue on this. I don't want to digress too much, but I just wanted to show and talk about that. Organic silicon is in certain foods. So you can screenshot that. I'll go ahead and show you. And then strengthening immunity. And a lot of these things I do too. So I was getting into some of the things I do in the morning. Go ahead and screenshot that if you want to. It just says certain key foods. And then here's the other side. But I have a routine where, because I don't eat meat, I take B12. I also keep on hand key things like zinc sulfate and cat's claw and lemon balm, which I also keep the tea for, and mullein. I'm trying to think of the other things. Seal, berberine. So many things I keep on hand. The D3. I keep the nettle. I do nettle daily. I have a nettle salt that's in this book. It was inspired by Zach and Haley over at Ananda Farm, Camino Island. So like, I keep plugging them. I'm not sponsored by any of these people, just so you know. It's just I won't do something unless I truly believe in it. And even though I don't get paid for any of this, I feel strongly it's important to do. So strengthening immunity. So it talks about consuming ginger infusions. Look at that. Go figure. And there's a tea. Oh my gosh. Okay, I have to point this out. I'm sorry, I'm going back to the book. But there's a tea in here that even Dr. Paul Cottrell was mentioning, and he didn't even know it was in this book, that he does. And here, you know, lo and behold, I published this before he ever started talking about it on his YouTube channel. Where's that tea? I'm trying to think of what it's called. It has cinnamon, ginger, turmeric, and black pepper. And I used it when I was so inflamed and in so much pain, I could barely even get up the stairs. And it was so hard. And I want to show you because they're talking about ginger. So another way to use ginger. Here we go. Ginger, turmeric, cinnamon tea. And there's a short, like one or like, I think it's even just a 1-minute video on my YouTube channel. I think that's the one that gets promoted the most out of all things, which is kind of funny because it's such a good short on how to do this and to help fight things, help your body heal itself and fight things. That's how I should word it. And there's the coffee that I was drinking, by the way, the dandelion coffee. Let's see if I can show you. There you go. Ta-da! You can see the page number. So you guys can screenshot that and have some free recipes. These recipes are also on my website, rainbowfoodrocks.com. Where else? And then there are videos of them on my Rainbow Food Rocks channel, and some are on Rainbow Healing Wellness. Okay, so continuing on, it's saying take drops of essential oils for strengthening immunity. Fasting can be used. Squeezing lemon and water, chewing on garlic. All these things that I've been saying, I mean, even this is saying the same thing. So some of these things have just lasted forever and ever. Black currant, yeah, I mentioned the turmeric, the anti-inflammatory diet. Well, that's where my book really comes in handy. I'm sorry I keep promoting this, but I'm kind of not sorry because it's that important that people get themselves to be at their optimal levels. Yeah, it goes on to the quercetin and the onions. And I did a show with Elle where the onion peels can actually be used to make broth. And what's so funny is I already have that recipe in my recipe book. This is the brilliant thing about this. And I'm not a marketer, so this isn't marketed probably the way that most mainstream people market, but all these healing things are interwoven here in such a crafty, clever way. And people that have actually gone and used my book have written me saying like, wow, well, like I have such a difference going on. And I know people that have totally healed themselves from things using this as a resource. So you have the power to heal yourself, and just knowing a little bit of extra information. So here's the vegetable broth where I use the scraps, because I don't like to waste anything. So I'm either composting or I'm freezing scraps, or I'm using scraps right away. We call them scraps. They're not really scraps though, if you think about it, because they're kind of medicinal. So anyways, there's onion peels. Elle Dakota from the Ultimate Herbal Database, and I talked about how these peels have a lot of quercetin. So when I use these peels to make a broth, and I'm using that broth as a base to make my other delicious meals, like my gorgeous quinoa bowl that is in here somewhere, I'll find it. There are 128 recipes in here, and I give really intricate directions on what to do. So the base of that quinoa in this bowl, I cook the quinoa in that broth. I cook a lot of things in that broth. So just think, like, when you're eating one of these meals, how beneficial it is to your health. And then plus, if you're making it, you're putting your own energy into that product. That's amazing. And it's so helpful for your health. So it goes on to just say certain things are not recommended, certain vegetables rich in certain things. Here again, I'll just show this. I'm not going to say this. And you can screenshot it and read it for yourself. And it goes on about wild plants. I mean, I'm sure you know that if you don't spray your dandelion in the backyard, that can be useful, and lots of other things. It talks about frequencies. So this is where it starts going off on some other things, which I've talked about. It does talk about the usage of silver. I know that people like Dr. Paul Cottrell, and I'm not sure if Rex Bear from Leak Project sells it. He sells the C60, as does Paul. These are two items that they promote to help people as well heal themselves and keep up their immunities. So I'll just re-say that. So it's C60, which I think you can get from either gentleman, either Rex Bear or Leak Project, or Dr. Paul Cottrell. And then, and you can get it directly too from C60 Company, from Ken Schwartz. And then there's also the nano silver and the nano gel. And I think that's more along the lines of what like Dr. Paul sells. I think I could be wrong, that like Billy Carson also has that product in his store. There are a bunch of other people, like we're all trying to help people get well. And so there are people that sell products. I recently tried some of the probiotics. I don't usually do probiotics, from getthetea.com, and I was pleased with those. So Ronnie, you can go check out his work. Health Matters Now is his channel on YouTube. And what else do we have here? Yeah, this goes on to then talk about a lot of the energetics and some of the other things going on that really aren't geared toward it. It's more of teaching people and showing the proof, but we'll get into that later. So just to give extra citation, this was the document. It was originally in French, it was translated into English, and I think it was by this lady that translated it that I found. Yes, so I think that this lady, her name is I can't even say names, can I? I don't know what I can say on YouTube. I'm going to point to it. I think this is the lady that I listened to get this document. And I don't know if it's still available. I have to check. If it is, I'll wind up later on putting it in the description box for you, so you guys can avoid having to screenshot all these pages, and then my friend in India can refer to it too. So what else do I want to get to? Well, I think that's enough for now. I need to get back to my kids. But I guess overall, stay hydrated, and we need to work together to help our bodies heal themselves. And with what's going on in India, I had a thought, and I guess I'll end with this. This came to me that's kind of important. There are certain things being done to help with the situation. You have to look at me if you're listening. Okay, whether you're one way or another, doesn't matter. If we have natural ways to keep ourselves in high energy and in good health, mind, body, soul, spirit, however you want to word it, then those things will not need to be forced upon us. So the overall message is what everyone else is promoting as well. You know, take care of your body, take care of your temple, listen to your body, and start incorporating daily, even if it's one thing at a time, things that you can do. And I'll go back and I'll do better versions of videos I used to have that I took down of how to make some of your own products as I can, and what I'm doing, you know, on a routine basis. I'll get back into that. I just need to finish my YTT course, my yoga teacher training course, which is really intense and a lot of work. And once I get through that, then I'll start really bringing things up again. So stay tuned and be well. And I'm going to take Rex Bear's phrase here because I strongly believe in it. Be the change you want to see in the world. Thank you for listening and watching, and I'll see you on the next video.